Hello everybody, my name is John Blackwell and I'm going to give you some very introductory training to the use of MaxIm DL version 5, the image processing software used by NKAF, and a slew of professional and amateur astronomers around the world to do all sorts of image processing functions, from pretty pictures all the way up to some very serious science, including photometry and astrometric reduction. The first thing that you want to do, of course, is to launch MaximDL. I happen to have it on my desktop there, and as you can see at the top, this is version MaximDL Pro 5. This has some both observatory and CCD camera control capabilities, which we won't be discussing today. But instead, I'd like to introduce you to some of the more fundamental aspects of this application and start you getting around in it so that you can look at your pictures. So the first thing that you notice is that it is a very standard Windows application. It's got your standard file, edit, and view, etc. Menu items, including the help menu, which can be very helpful, and I would not hesitate to tell you to check that out from time to time if you feel like you're getting stuck. It also has a very standard menu bar, little buttons here that are quick links to some of the more often used application settings and application commands. You can turn a variety of these on and off as you start working with MaximDL. Go to the View menu, and then there's a submenu for toolbars. I have the Standard and Process toolbars on, but you may want to turn on or off any of the other ones that are here. So if you find that your window is being cluttered by too many buttons, just uncheck some of these and turn them off, and you'll free up a little bit of space. Right away, I'd like to tell people to please keep the screen stretch window open. I'm going to turn it off here, and you'll see that it has vanished. So let's turn it back on. If you don't see it, you want to click the View menu and then turn on the Screen Stretch menu. Now let's go open an astronomical image. You can use the File Open command, or you can use the Open File button that I just used there. I have a directory here with a bunch of Flexible Image Transport System image files, or FITS files as astronomers call them, and I'm going to highlight CCD image number 56 and say Open. And it opens the file, and it creates a tab for that file. This application lets you open multiple files at a time, and you'll see there are tabs there. So if I say File and Open number 53, you'll see that there are multiple tabs. And you can click on each one, and it will allow you to go back and forth between the two images. In this case, we're going to close number 53. There's a little X up here at the upper right of that. We click that, and number 53 is closed. If you click on your image anywhere in the image at all, you can use your mouse scroll wheel to zoom out and zoom in. An interesting point about zooming is that it will always zoom in to the location where your cursor is located or pointing at in the file. So if I want to focus on that star and zoom in on it, I just make sure I keep my cursor located over that star. You might already have guessed that this is an image of a galaxy. This is the Whirlpool Galaxy M51. And we can zoom in on that or zoom out on that using our scroll wheel. You can also use the plus and minus buttons on your toolbar, and you can also drop down and select from a multitude of different preset magnifications. I want to iterate that changing the magnification with which you are viewing your picture does not alter the data inside your picture. Your flexible image transport file remains untouched. If you are zoomed in a great deal, little window sliders open up on the side of this window that allow you to look left and right or scroll through the image until you get to where you'd like to be. Let's now talk about the screen stretch window. The screen stretch window is sometimes misunderstood, but I think it's really important to understand how it works and why it's here for you. First of all, it's a graph, and unfortunately it's not labeled. The axes are not labeled. So let's look at the different axes. The y-axis here, if we could put a label there, we would put the label that says the number of pixels. Number of pixels. On the x-axis here, where these two little triangles are, the red triangle and green triangle, we could put the label brightness level. So this is a graph of the number of pixels at any given brightness level. On the extreme left of the x-axis are brightness levels of 0, or black. Way over to the right you have brightness levels of 65536, or pure white, pixels that are pure white. And then the bottom of the y-axis would be 0 pixels all the way up to however many pixels there are of any individual given color. So in a way, if you're familiar with the term, this is a histogram of the image that you're looking at. The positioning of these triangles, the red triangle and the green triangle, determine what is displayed in your image. The red triangle determines what pixel value will be considered black. The green triangle determines which pixel values will be considered white. By sliding these, you alter how the image appears. But once again, you are not changing the actual data. So this is strictly to allow you to see different things in your image without harming or changing the actual data in the image itself. I can close this image and reopen it, and it will have exactly the same data as it did before. You can zoom in onto the histogram between these two values of the green and red triangle by clicking on the plus magnification button, and then you can make fine adjustments to how you view this image of our galaxy. If you don't like how this is working out, MaximDL has provided this drop-down list here of some of the more basic and commonly used settings. Low screen stretch, medium screen stretch, and high screen stretch are definitely the most commonly used. If you are taking pictures of the moon or planets, selecting the moon screen stretch value or the planet screen stretch value will work fairly well to show you those objects appropriately. And once again, you're only changing how it looks to the human eye. You're not changing the actual data. To close an image, you have multiple ways of doing so. You can click the little X at the top right of each image's window. You can also say File and Close, which closes just the image you're looking at, or you can select Close All. When you start doing some science routines with this application, you might have as many as 100 to 200 images open at a given time, and it's really handy to click Close All and start over with a different batch. So I'll click Close All, and you see that MaximDL has closed that image for you. So there's a very introductory look at the basic capacity of MaximDL. There are more things it can do, and I will be showing those to you in a video soon to come. Thank you for listening.